Hi, I'm Karen. I'm going to be reading Psalm 56. It's a psalm of David when David was in a terrible situation. He had been seized, he had a king against him, he had literally armies of enemies, and he was feeling fearful. And when I go through this psalm, I think it's interesting to listen out for how quickly David presents his request to God, how transparent he is about his fear, how he returns to God's word, and how unshakable his faith is. So this is Psalm 56. For the director of music, to the tune of A Dove on Distant Oaks of David, a miktam, when the Philistines had seized him in Gath. Be merciful to me, O God, for men hotly pursue me. All day long they press their attack. My slanderers pursue me all day long. Many are attacking me in their pride. When I am afraid, I will trust in you. In God, whose word I praise, in God I trust, I will not be afraid. What can mortal man do to me? All day long they twist my words. They are always plotting to harm me. They conspire, they lurk, they watch my steps, eager to take my life. On no account let them escape. In your anger, O God, bring down the nations. Record my lament, list my tears on your scroll. Are they not in your record? Then my enemies will turn back when I call for help. By this I know that God is for me. In God whose word I praise, in the Lord whose word I praise, in God I trust, I will not be afraid. What can man do to me? I am under vows to you, O God. I will present my thank offerings to you, for you have delivered me from death and my feet from stumbling, that I may walk before God in the light of life. So this psalm is quite remarkable because it shows us that both fear and faith can coexist. They can be in our headspace at the same time, but fear does not fill our entire head. David here is immediately turning to God. He's critically turning to his word because he knows that scriptures reveals God's character. So that unshakable trust is because he's turning to God's word and God's scriptures to find out more about God who will rescue him. And I think it's very interesting that he asks the question, going back to verse 3, when I am afraid, I will trust in you. In God whose word I praise, in God I trust, I will not be afraid. What can mortal man do to me? That question is actually answered by Jesus in Matthew 28 verse 10, when he appears after he has been crucified, he's risen, he appears to the women and basically says, do not be afraid, and they know that they're safe in Jesus, and we can take great comfort from that. So just now, at the moment when there are so many things going on, there's the terrible oppression of Black lives, there are vulnerable people who are afraid even in their own homes. We can turn to God, we can pray boldly. We know that if we keep returning to his scriptures, he reveals more of himself to us, and it's a great encouragement. So I hope that Psalm 56 is a great encouragement to you today.